All right, we're back with the stacks that are separated out. Overall, I counted the mistake card they sent back on my DC Sports, so it was 27 cards from DC Sports, and only 6 of them weren't gradable, so that's about 78%, so it was a pretty good batch overall, but I kind of figured since it was a smaller, more concentrated batch that it would be. But we'll go through the 6 that weren't gradable, and most of them are PC anyways. We got the Hertz on the Select Silver Prism. It has just a little bit of edge wear on it. And then there was one, actually has print lines down the back as well. 2 kind of heavier print lines. And then this, not sure because I'm sure it's pretty condition sensitive. It's got a little bit of white around the edges. I don't know how sharp the corners on all the cuts are. Front looked pretty clean overall though. I think there was one tiny little scratch. So probably wouldn't, maybe someday in the future. Just edge wear on the Robinson, but it's for the PC anyways. Disappointed on the Derwin James, has a big scratch right there. Didn't see when I looked at the picture. The Quignon is off center. It's for the PC anyways. I'm sad about this one, even though I'm fine with being able to stick it in the PC because I PC Wemby, but it looked pretty decent, at least like a 9. But it's got that fingernail indent right there. That's probably my least, like, I dislike the fingerprint marks the most as far as damage. People's negligence and not being careful and paying attention. So that one's pretty bad. So yeah, that'll go in the PC. Onto the ones that would be like 8s, 9s, potential 10s. So the most expensive card from DC Sports, it looks decent overall, but it's going to get a 9 at least because it's got a big scratch through right there and like right there. I'm still probably going to send it anyways. Sometimes I'm stubborn when I pay more for cards. The replacement card looks like it could get an 8 or a 9. It looks overall pretty decent. It does have slight, tiny bit of white spots on the back. And it's a little bit off center, so it'll probably get an 8, but potentially a 9. So no scratches on the front of this. Luckily, I was pretty happy about that. It just has a couple little white corners, so it's probably going to get a 9. Still pretty happy with that. The centering on it's nice, and then the front looks really, really clean. This has one little scratch across it, so it's probably going to get a 9. This looks like a 10. I didn't see anything wrong with this at all. Didn't really see anything wrong with the Penix. The Duncan actually looks surprisingly good. No scratches on the front or anything. It has one slight white corner on the back. The Moss looked really good. I didn't see really anything on it. It had one tiny, tiny little scratch on the front. Overall, the back looked fairly decent. One small white corner. There's a small print line on this, but overall looked really good. It's a little bit off center, but still really cool card. I'm a big Joey Galloway fan because I used to send cards out to try to get signed when you like go to the back of Sports Cards magazine and get their addresses and stuff, and he actually signed a card to me by name. That someday I'll get authenticated, so I'm always going to be a huge fan of his because of that. And then the holographics Manning looked really good. No whitening on the back at all. The Johnsons, even though, I don't even know if I'd get them graded. They look both like they'd at least be 9s. Pretty good overall. The Parker looks good overall. Probably would be a 9. I didn't see really actually much wrong with it at all. So did this one actually. I didn't see anything wrong with this. Not that I would get it graded, but still pretty nice copy. This looked like it could be a 10. I didn't see anything wrong with it at all. The Mahomes probably would be a 9. The surface is okay. This has a slight bit of whitening right there and like right there. So probably would get the 9, but the LeBron is just slightly off center. Everything else about the card actually looks pretty phenomenal. The Robinson looks super, super good, actually, for a thick card. It just has this tiny little bit of white wear on it. Even the corners look pretty decent. The LeBron has just a very, very minuscule amount of surface scratch right here, so I don't know. That would probably take it to a 9. I don't think it would take it to lower than that. Maybe I can somehow clean it up enough to then pass it if the rest of the card looks really good. The Bo Jackson would probably be an 8. It has a little bit of edge wear on it. Probably a 9 on this. There's like one little tiny paper spot white on it. And then on the cards that I got individually off eBay, they should at least 9 no matter what, but they all look pretty good, centering and edges and everything. So I'm going to put those in the rest of the batch I'm working on and get those sent out today. Hopefully I'll have all those reveals I keep talking about but never showing coming up soon. Really looking forward to it. At this point, this is going to put me at like 385 cards that I'll be waiting to get back from grading. So yeah, quite a lot. Thank you guys always for watching. Any likes and subscriptions and support, and stay tuned for the next video. Have a good rest of your day.